Today I'm planting potatoes and these stink because some of them are starting to go rotten. These are all store-bought potatoes that I took, and once they started sprouting I set them aside. That way I could plant them in the garden. So I'm gonna go through and get rid of the ones that are stinky and squishy, and then I'm gonna plant the ones that are good. I have my tray so that I can put all of the good potatoes there, and then I can discard the rest of them. Some of them I put in my potato bucket because they started turning green. I also have some sweet potatoes that have started sprouting. I think I'm just gonna pop some of these into a little pot of soil because those grow well in hot weather, but not necessarily in cold weather. During the cold weather is actually when I harvest the sweet potatoes. So these are some of the ones that have started sprouting. They're all gold potatoes because that's what my family loves the most. I'm gonna plant them whole. I know that you can cut them up, and I've tried both ways, but I don't think I do a very good job of cutting them up because they always start rotting on me. Ew, so squishy. Ew, 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 ew. I think the inside of my house just got way too warm. Some of them are really starting to sprout, but a lot of them are also turning into mush. So I guess it's a good thing that I'm getting to them now. There's another good one. Whoa. Ugh. Have you guys ever smelled a rotting potato? It stinks. Now these are looking a little ugly, but they're still sprouting. See, these I was supposed to plant out a while ago, but life happens and I'm barely getting to them. Some of them might look like they're even starting to make baby potatoes. Hopefully that means we get something good out of them. Yeah, those are definitely ready to be planted. Oh my gosh, look at that. They're growing potatoes. They're already growing potatoes. That's crazy. I'm gonna throw away these because they've started rotting and they smell really bad, but I still have a pretty good amount to plant in the garden today. And usually I just plant a couple to try to give them as much space as possible, but I feel like I wind up wasting a lot of soil because they don't grow like, I don't know, they don't grow crazy enough to require a huge container. In the past I've tried planting them in 30 gallons of soil and I got a small handful of potatoes. And then I've also seen some TikToks of some people that grow them in little like 3-gallon containers and they get like a good harvest of potatoes. Like the whole container is just full of them. So I'm gonna try that out. Maybe that's what I need to do. Is that a hornworm? And I'm gonna be planting the potatoes in these wine barrels, which I think should be definitely big enough. I have some vines growing in them, but these vines haven't really done anything for me. It's time for them to be removed from the garden. Because I'm gonna bury these, I'm actually gonna pull up the irrigation. Let me go get my trowel. Update, I could not find my trowel, so I'm gonna use my kid's trowel. And I'm just gonna dig a few holes in here. Oh my gosh. Okay, so see, some of my sweet potatoes started rooting in here. Oh no. I mean, it's pretty cool because they started trying to make sweet potatoes, but that's not where they were supposed to go. Let me dig in here just to make sure. See, there's a couple more right here. There was one vine, one singular vine that started rooting. Oh my gosh, that makes me so tempted to harvest all my other sweet potatoes. What's this? See? All of these roots turn into tubers and those tubers form the sweet potatoes. These containers have been amended. Look at these baby sweet potatoes. I'm just gonna make a few holes. Look at them. They're overachievers already, so hopefully they'll be happy. Like I said, I'm not super meticulous about this. Dig a deep hole and I pop a potato in. Something else that I forgot to mention is when I'm putting the potatoes, when I put the potatoes into the hole, I try and make sure that some of the eyes are facing up. So if these were cut, I would just try and make sure that the eye is facing up. But because these are whole, they have eyes all around. That's how I'm planting the potatoes this year. I planted about 6 to 7 potatoes in every single container, and I know that seems like a lot, but like I said before, I've planted potatoes where I planted significantly less for bigger containers, and I had a lot of wasted space. So I'm trying out this method to see how it works for me. One more thing I also wanted to mention is that Usually I would hill potatoes up, but then I learned that there's determinate and indeterminate potatoes, and I believe that these are determinate. So I'm just gonna bury them kind of deep, and then I'm not going to continue hilling them up. Once they start growing, I'm just gonna let them grow however they want, and then once the vines die back, I'll harvest them next year. And this one's done. This is another container that's all set up on drip irrigation. It has mulch on top. It's just ready to go. So I'm gonna remove some of the mulch. Then another one down there. And you can see all of the garden clippings that I filled the bottoms of these containers with. They've almost broken down. There's a couple of big sticks in there, but everything else seems to be gone. There we go. And the potatoes are in there. Oh man, and I can tell a huge difference between the containers that have mulch on top versus the ones that don't. The ones that have mulch on top, the soil is so moist and the moisture is spread evenly. So I think one of my next goals is going to be to pick up some more mulch to add on top of the containers and the garden beds. I've tried different types of mulch in the garden and many of them work fantastic. The only thing that I would personally stay away from is any sort of like plastic mulch. I don't want that in the garden, but any sort of wood mulch, shredded wood, straw works really good. It just has to be a little bit more shredded. With straw, one thing I found is sometimes it sprouts, but it's very minimal. And for wood, I like that one better because I feel like the birds in the garden make less of a mess. But with the straw mulch, they throw it everywhere, and within just a few days the garden is like a destruction zone of straw, and it's such a pain to clean up, and they destroy it every few days. So currently I'm trying to stick more with wood mulch because it definitely makes a huge difference. The potatoes are in the garden and I'm all done, ready to go inside.